Hi everybody, it's Mehtab. So today we are looking at chronic stress and burnout and how it affects our gut health, and what sort of issues can arise. And we're going to be looking at the symptoms that you may be experiencing if you are having, trouble with your gut health. And we'll look at some things that you can do to help manage it and keep your gut microbiome happy and healthy. And also, we might dive into some foods that could be quite healing and quite good for bringing back balance to your body. So, let's get into it. So, like, your gut is also known as like your second brain. I'm sure you've heard like the sayings like trust your gut, or like my gut instinct is telling me this is not a good idea. So, it's sort of like your second intuition after your brain, yeah. And they are like directly linked. So, because it's important to consume foods that actually support and nourish and a healthy gut microbiome. You want to keep it happy because it leads to like improved mental health, improved brain health, and improved overall health and well-being. So some of the symptoms you could be experiencing if that doesn't happen. How does it happen though? So obviously if you're, like under chronic stress and it's unaddressed, like going through like prolonged bouts where you're just like constantly stressed out, that can start to cause problems, right? Um, if it's just short-term stress, the body recovers quite well, so it's okay. But usually what you can experience is uh, you might start getting brain fog, you might start getting anxiety, depression, fatigue, poor sleep, dysregulated like blood sugar levels, pain in your body, a lowered immune response, all of these things. And they all just add up because everything's so intricately linked. When your physical gut health isn't like doing too well, it's gonna like trickle out into your mental, your emotional, your energetic, yeah. So it's really important to pay attention to the foods that you're putting in. You gotta make sure that they're like nutrient dense foods and they are nourishing and they're giving you energy, and that your digestion's working well, because um, that's how you absorb all the nutrients from your food. So yeah, so those are just some of the things, some of the symptoms you might be experiencing. Some of the things that you can do to like mitigate the damage that occurs to the microbiome. You want to try and cut down foods that are refined, like with added sugars or that have like a high sugar content in them, because it's harder for the gut to actually recognize them and break them down for digestion, as opposed to like if you got like an earth grown, you got some blueberries or something, that would be a lot easier to digest if you compared to like having cookies or something like that. So that will really make a difference in putting in like more healthy foods into your body. And also it will save you an added stress, because if you're putting like foods that aren't easily recognized by the into the body, it's just like another common stressor, but it's like a nutritional stress on top of all the other stuff that you're probably experiencing. So yeah, so that's one to look at. It's like to opt for like earth grown nutrients as opposed to like boxed foods all the time. Now, next one is you want to try and get consistent sleep patterns, because that's going to create safety for your body. So you want to try and go to bed at the same time every night, and you want to go wake up every morning at the same time, and try and keep those times like consistent. Because if you have like inconsistent sleep patterns, that can have like a really detrimental effect on your gut microbiome, like and also if you experience like sleep deprivation, like if you miss out on sleep, it just makes it that much harder to prioritize your health, prioritize, make good food choices the next day. You know, you're more inclined to like reach for the bag of chips. It's just easier, like, as opposed to, you know, nourishing yourself and preparing a healthier meal for yourself. And in turn, that will elicit like a, you know, a poor stress response to stress in the body. Your digestive health suffers, and then that will affect the absorption of nutrients, and then it's like another cascade effect of other health issues that you have to deal with. So try and keep your sleep consistent. Yeah. The next one is alcohol consumption. So like, what alcohol does, it's gonna damage the gut wall lining. It reduces your stomach acid production, and in turn that's gonna like mess with your digestion again. So, and again, it takes it back to like your body's gonna, it's just gonna lead to like absorbing less nutrients for your food. So you're not actually getting like all the goodness, you know, and then that leads to a decrease in overall health eventually. So that's another one. And then the last one is you want to try and like keep your meal times and your snack times consistent. You want to like try and keep your eating schedule consistent, because it's kind of similar to putting, you know, how you put like the nutritional stressor on your body when you eat like high sugar foods. This would be like another stress response in the body. It might be a little bit more subtle. You might not even notice it, but if your eating schedule's all over the place, that may happen. But when you like try and keep or stick to like a consistent meal and snack time, you kind of tend to have stable energy throughout the day. Your mood's like balanced, and then that cascades into like your hormones becoming balanced as well. So that could help. Yeah. So yeah, those are just some of the things to think about to try and get your gut bacteria happy, healthy, and back to balance again. Now we're just going to get into some foods that could help as well. Manage your cortisol levels, manage, you know, the stress hormones in the body. So dark chocolate, I think I mentioned this in one of my videos this week. It's got a high amount of flavonoids in it, and they've been shown to like buffer stress reactivity in the adrenal glands, which in turn leads to like a lowered release of cortisol, which is what you want, especially if you're under like chronic stress. You want to like try and tax the adrenals as little as possible, because they're already like pumping out like so much cortisol for you, because trying to mitigate all the chronic stress that you're under. So it's like a vicious cycle. So this dark chocolate's going to really help with that. Any excuse to eat chocolate, right? You want to try and get like 70% cocoa if you can, or if you can get a hold of some like pure grade ceremonial cacao, that's actually really good, because that's a superfood, so it'll give you like antioxidants, a powerhouse full of like nutrients and all other good things. The next one's like whole grains. So you want to try and stay away from refined grains. Whole grains like legumes, lentils, you know, veggies, like plant-based polyphenols, fiber, they can help all support your stress levels and your gut health. And next one is whole fruits and vegetables. So this one's like just a given, right? You want to try and have a whole spectrum of like fruits and veggies. They're full of antioxidants and compounds that fight, you know, like free radicals like that damage your cells and stuff. So if you are lucky enough to be able to get it from like an organic farmer's market, that's so great. If you have to go to like a big grocery store or like a supermarket, a big supermarket chain, might be a good idea to look for spray free, so then you are lessening the toxic load, because they won't have like chemicals or pesticides sprayed on them. But if you can't find those, you can always just like buy a fruit and veggie wash and then just soak them at home, and that will help get rid of the pesticides, chemicals, whatever has been sprayed on them. or you can make your own at home. I do this. I just fill up my kitchen sink with some warm water, and I use like white vinegar, a couple of cups of that, and I just soak them in there sometimes. So yeah, that's just something to think about, just to sort of reduce that toxic load on your body as well. The next one is green tea. That's really good. It's really got this calming compound called L-theanine in it, and that's been linked to increased mental alertness, and it helps reduce your stress as well. So yeah, get some green tea. The next one's actually quite important. These ones, probiotics and prebiotics, and they kind of like go together. Yeah. So prebiotics are like soluble fiber, asparagus, radishes, that sort of thing, right? And they are soluble fiber, and they provide food for the friendly symbiotic bacteria, which are the probiotics, if that makes sense. And those probiotics can be found in natural yogurt, sauerkraut, fermented foods like kimchi, that sort of thing, yeah. And when you have both together, they're actually linked to like better gut and mental health as well. You could also get supplements like probiotic, prebiotic supplements. Um, there are some good ones out there. Dr. Ohira's is a good one. I really like his. But yeah, that being said, I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on the internet. Whenever you're trying to like add in new supplements, especially if you're pregnant, breastfeeding, or you have a medical condition, definitely consult a qualified physician before you start anything new. Yeah. And I just wanted to like mention what makes your gut bacteria unhappy. Um, when there's like a lack of fiber, your gut bacteria is going to make this thing called lipopolysaccharides, and it's usually because there's not enough fiber, right? And now the lipopolysaccharides will get into your bloodstream, and that's when you get like these symptoms of like fatigue, anxiety, depression, you know, your blood sugar levels being all over the place, you're not sleeping well. Yeah. So so you want to try and keep your gut bacteria happy. You want to feed and nourish it with like some prebiotic fibers, and yeah. So that's just that one. And then healthy fats. That's something to add into your diet. Omega 3s are really good for brain health. They've done studies on it. So you can have like fatty fish, wild caught salmon. You can supplement with an omega 3 supplement, nuts, seeds, other healthy fats, not just omega 3s, that are really good for your brain health are things like coconut oil, MCT oil, olive oil is really good for your heart. Um, Things like that, yeah. And then the last one, not least, is really important, this one, because it's water. You want to make sure you're hydrated and you're drinking enough water throughout the day, because dehydration's actually been linked to like a temporary increase in cortisol levels. So it's really important to make sure you're drinking enough water throughout the day. Okay, so that's like just some of the foods there. I'm sure there's heaps more out there that I haven't like mentioned, but yeah, that's just like a way to get you started. So once you do start like paying attention to what foods you're putting into your body, your gut's gonna start feeling more balanced, more better. I forgot to mention, if you are experiencing like issues with your bowel movements, right? That could be from leaky gut. And things that are quite healing for the gut along those lines would be things like bone broths, because they're very, they help heal the stomach lining, that leaky gut. Glutamine's another really good one. Yeah, that will really help as well. Yeah, but you should like find that your energy levels start to increase as you start to consistently absorb more nutrients, because like once you start putting in like better foods, reducing your stress levels, balancing out your hormones and regulating them, you'll start having improved digestion, like, yeah, and your skin will start getting clearer. Your brain fog reduces as you seal and heal your gut and address any leaky gut issues as well. Your elimination and like your drainage pathways are also supported because you start to eliminate waste properly from the colon and more regularly. Yeah. Um, yeah. So that's a way that you can sort of like create a healing environment, and reduce inflammation, regulate your stress. It's not obviously it takes a while to get to burnout or becoming chronically stressed. So I always say like baby steps will lead to like adult steps. So and slowly. So create change, create new healthy habits and new healthy behaviors. And it might take a little bit of work and take some time, but yeah, you'll get there. Anyways, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Give me a like, a subscribe if you love this, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay, thanks. Bye.